Hey everybody, welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. Happy day.
Great. I was going to say great day.
Happy day, happy day, happy
Happy day.
Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a happy Tuesday.
Us.
How have you been?
Yeah, we haven't talked in like 3 weeks, right?
So long. This is going to be interesting.
we've been
It
doing
always are.
we've been doing a lot in them 3 weeks.
We have.
When I looked at the calendar and I was like, oh, because I was thinking we had already done a recording for this one,
Oh,
and I looked and went, oh, yeah, I better reach out to Bev.
nice.
So, anywho,
Time's different.
what?
Time is different. Is my fan too loud? Are you hearing the fan a lot?
No,
Okay. Okay.
no. So, man, what's been going on? It's hard to remember because the days just go by. Um, and that's what I find interesting is, it's like be in the present moment, be in the present moment, be in the present moment. Well, I'm so much in the present moment. I don't even know what I did moment to moment. So it's one of those things. Is like you asked me
No,
what I did today, and I cannot tell you.
I think that's normal. I think that that's how it's supposed to be. We're not supposed to recall all the other things, right? I mean, not really. Because we are in the now. We're right now in this moment.
Yeah, so I don't know if maybe I need to start keeping a journal or something of
I don't know.
what I
I
do
don't know.
because
Because you're not,
honestly,
you're,
I'm
but you're not anchoring to a story. And I think that's an awesome thing because I think we can create so much more without anchoring into that story because that story can be so limiting, right? It could be such a limited experience because it's only those things. And now you're not staying in that space. So you're constantly open for whatever is new coming your way. And then you'll recall it when you're supposed to, just to refer to someone else that your experiences or the experiences that might be relevant to them that get their attention to make them feel like, oh yeah, I'm having the same experience. So I think it's awesome.
yeah, or it's just doing the repetitive stuff. So there
Oh,
until there's something that uh uh like really gets your attention, and not necessarily like trauma or drama or anything like that, just something that puts that like a hook into your whatever you're doing that gets you, oh yeah, I gotta go do this, and distracts you from what you're doing. So I mean, it's typical for us to do that when it's trauma and drama, right? Because it really gets our attention, and then we focus on it and focus on it and focus on it, and still able to do our daily routine things and function and survive. But our brain will focus on that issue, that problem. And I just, yeah, I just think I'm just going about my day doing my thing. And then unless something really gets my attention, I'm
okay.
just here right now.
I like it.
So I don't know how to answer. What have you been up to? So,
But I mean, that says a whole lot. And we know things. We know how this works because it's like it's interesting how spirit shows up and decides. I say spirit when I'm referring to God or the universe or whatever that stuff. To me, it's all universal, right? To me, it is. And it's like, because we're not going to go into all those details, but for me, that's how it feels to me. And it's like, it's every moment can be so amazing, even the bad moments. But that bad moment it's already passed, right? It's already gone until you, like you were saying, until you start feeding that story again, or you start reliving it, which you do relive it when you start talking about it, because you go right back into the experience. You reignite fires that maybe you didn't want to have reignited. So to me, being on your path where you're at, that's awesome. It's awesome to be in that space just from a different perspective because you're just going along. We when we find joy in everything, we just find joy in everything. It just feels different. It just flows different. It's not something we have to sit and log or put so much attention to. It's just great. And then at the end of the day, right, then we can go through the moments of like reliving and enjoying. That's probably a way to remember the stuff, but to remember only the good stuff, because then you're going to remember things that spark that light within inside of you.
And it's um it's that, oh, that's what I was trying to figure out what I was gonna say, because you were talking and I'm like, ooh, I gotta say this, I gotta say this. Um it's not even, I've talked about it before, that space of contentment. I'm just content. Whatever I'm doing, I'm content. Doesn't mean I'm overly joyed about it. Doesn't mean I'm pissed off about it. I'm just content in what I'm doing, which is absolutely a celebration compared to where I used to be. Because where I used to be, whatever I was doing in the moment, I was just mad about everything. So it was just filled with the anger and all the things, right? And so feeling that contentment in whatever I'm doing, it's like it just is. This is what I'm going to do for now. This is where I'm going to be for now. This is how I'm choosing to use my time for now. So, and that is actually a pretty good, like, freeing sensation in my body.
And it sounds like an amazing place to create from, right? You're in a neutral zone. You're in a peaceful. To me, I want to call it peaceful. For me, it feels peaceful. So I went on vacation to Florida. I was gone like from the day that I left to the day that I came back was 9 days, which was awesome. It was such an amazing time. It was so, I was in a state of peace or state, like I just flowed with everything. I didn't, in the past, I would have resisted, like, I don't want to stay there. I don't want to live in that. I don't want to lay on that. I would have had an opinion about everything. And I just allowed myself to be in the flow of things. And it was awesome. I got to witness, she's a daughter to me, really. She's just my daughter. And then I want to call her daughter my granddaughter. It's just like a natural flow of things. But I got to sit and watch how she mothered her. And it's interesting because of the way that we grow up and stuff like that. We expect, like, I know a lot of her experiences, or we've talked about a lot of her experiences. So I get an idea in my mind what that would look like. And she's so the peaceful mom. She really is. Her daughter could be losing her mind and she'll just like not, she doesn't even interact. And I say interact, she doesn't even react. She doesn't even get into that space of reaction and matching the energy of the child, which is so easy to do. I've done it. It's so easy, especially when they come at you all pissed off and it's like, well, and it doesn't have to be that way. And I listen to her be able to say no, which I think is so valuable and important for a child to be able to say no to their parents. Because if we don't allow them to say no in the home, from my perspective, then we take them outside into the public when we're not there. And now they don't know how to say no. They don't feel strong enough to be able to stand in their power and say no to a lot of things because they've been denied that in their even home experience, right? We do what we see, not what we were taught.
Yeah.
So it's like all these things, but I got to see such a different place and I didn't have any feeling or reaction about it. I actually got to see, I kept telling her, I said, you live so simply. And I don't. I could pan around the room right now and you'd see I have a curio cabinet. Freaking, I don't even know how many angels are in there. I've been collecting them for a long time. I've got stuff, crystals and piles and stuff. I mean, that's just how I have it. And I thought, this feels good. Like, and we don't realize, see, we'll go into all kinds of conversations from there. We don't realize the things that we pick up from our upbringings, from the people that are around us, but like to cling on or hold on to things. When it's like, I look around and all I want to do is I've started downsizing. I came back and I started getting rid of stuff and going through things, and even emotional things like, going through some of mine and Jim's stuff together that we still have. So it's like, it's going through that stuff. And my daughter's talking to me and she says, I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with this stuff. I mean, I've got all of our cards from the beginning to now. And she says, you could always burn them. She says, that way you're not just throwing them away. And all you're doing is changing the vibrational frequency of them. They've always been there. They've never gone away. And I haven't discarded them as if they didn't matter. She said, do a ceremony. And I thought, I could feel that in my belly and my heart and stuff like that. And it's like, that's a good idea. Am I ready for it? I don't know yet, but I'm very open to it. I know that for me, it'll be a cleansing.
Yeah.
Because regardless, I don't vibrate at that frequency or that frequency of that, how he was then, or even how I was then.
And what, I mean, really, when you hang on to them and something happens to you, somebody else is going to have to do something with them.
Exactly.
So,
And it's personal to me. It's not personal to somebody else.
right.
Do you know what I mean? So it's looking at a lot of these things, and then even the kids talking about they want a picture of a signature. Well, if you've ever seen Jim's signature, it was quite the scribble. Like it really was. It was impressive because I could not duplicate it, but it was impressive. And my daughters both want the signature, his signature, so they can get it tattooed on them or whatever they're going to do from there. And then they were talking, and I said, "Well, we've got it on the marriage certificate." And Brianne's like, "Well, yeah, that probably is the best one to choose from." Because he probably took his time to write it, write out his name. So it's just funny. And then we start talking about how our names are right. So it goes along with everything we're talking about, our story, our experiences that we've had. And when you write down that name, or when you take that signature, to me, that's no different than holding onto a piece of their jewelry or a piece of their clothing, their ashes, whatever. You're still there's a vibrational signature to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all these cool things when you really process that stuff. And as we evolve, we learn how to feel more things. And I've told you, and I know we probably have it on recording on some video, like, oh, great, I feel things. Big whoop. What can you do with that? My God, you can, it's infinite. It's, I'm not saying that properly, but it's like, it goes on and on and on forever. It's like, there's so many different ways that we can utilize that information, or just like I said, getting that tattoo and feeling that, writing the word beautiful on your water jug and you feel it because it changes the water's frequency. It's like all these things. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, the vibrational energy that's in so many things, and even the stuff that you've been hanging on to, that all has energy in it, and it's been with you for your during your marriage and during your moves and sitting in boxes or just sitting around. So it's all vibrationally attracting the frequencies that are around it. And um there are very beneficial ways of transmuting that or shifting it. So, um, you know, speaking to the audience, if there's something in your home that's been sitting there for a while, like I had things from my first marriage that I still had going into my second marriage or second relationship, because we were together for 10 years before we got married. And I would just sit there and look at it and I'd be like, right, you just get that ugh. And I'm not saying this is about your stuff, but just using my stuff as an example. And I just knew I was feeling that way, that it was time that it needed to go. And I donate it, throw it away, whatever the case may be. But just when you just look at it and you're not feeling any kind of lighter emotion, doesn't have to be full on joy, but some lighter emotion about it or some enjoyment about it, then it's probably time to move it. And I've been sitting in my house recently looking at some things, and I'm just like, doesn't necessarily need to go, but it needs to be moved somewhere else into the house, right? So
Yeah.
just shifting energy like that. I just went through my closet just recently, because every time I walked into my closet to pick out my clothes for the day, I felt this. It wasn't heavy. It wasn't comfortable.
Like stagnation.
Yeah, that's a great word. And then I'm just like, God, I really got to go through this closet. And then when you do that, you think about it and think about it. I put it in my calendar so I would remember, like I have kind of like a to-do list. But anytime I think about needing to do something, I put a reminder on my calendar, and I might keep moving it until I have time to do it, but it's theirs to remind me. But every day walking in there, I'm just like, I got to do this. Oh, I got to do this. So I'm reminded constantly that I need to do this. And it was a need because of the energy of it. Finally, I just like, all right, I'm doing it today. Right. So I went in, I went through all the stuff, made the piles of the stuff that was going to go. And man, what a difference. I walked into it. I was like, what a breath of fresh air. It was just so much lighter and felt so much better. Even now, it's been a couple weeks now, and I walk in there and I'm just like, oh, I love my closet. Right? It's, and you can tell that just by your physically feeling it. And it, sometimes we need to do that with our stuff. So if we watch the videos um, like a year ago and beyond, you've seen that I've, well, even when we first started, you've seen that I've, in my background, I've moved things, moved where my computer was, moved what was behind me and all the things. And then for a very long time, I had everything on one side. And I just, every time we did a video, I just felt so lopsided because behind me was just the white wall. And I'm like, this just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right. But I never took the time to change it. And man, when I changed it to like it is now, it felt so much different. So and the energy of your belongings is really important.
Yeah. You know, when you're saying all that stuff, I'm just thinking about Abraham and how when we see something that we feel uncomfortable with or we are not really liking that much, it automatically shoots up these rockets of desire. Like, so we don't have to sit there and think, okay, I really want to have this space cleared up. Okay, I mean, we could do this. Universe, come in and help me, inspire me, guide me. But you didn't do it that way. But you still created because you had desires of like, it just feels heavy in there. Gosh, I wish it felt lighter. Like there, that wanting created something more, and without you even doing it, next thing you know, you're just being guided. Then it, to me, that's just a flow because I've created this way, and I know that I've created this way, which is so awesome. But because you feel the difference, and then it just feels totally different. You're automatically guided and motivated for every single next thing you do. It's like, oh yeah, this can go there, and like you said, you just know why the way that it feels. Period.
Yeah.
And that goes along with when I was telling my daughter in Florida that it's her living simply. There's hardly, you walk in and there's two stools, there's a table up against the wall, there's a couch, a TV, a desk. Like it's just simple. You go into her, and I love this because this has never been me because I didn't grow up this way. I did when I was a teenager, but my mom always had to have these nice dishes and everything had to match, and you had to have a certain number for the sets, right? And all the silverware and the cups and all that stuff. And it's like I went in and she had all these different sizes of mason jars that she's probably collected from forever, probably had when she was younger. And I thought, this is what I've been looking for all my life, which is so crazy to me. But we get caught in the consumerism, we get caught in all the other stuff and think that this is the way things are supposed to be, when it felt, if someone was just to stop and steal things, that felt perfect to me. No dishes match. She might have had a couple of plates that match, but there was all kinds of different shapes and sizes. But all those dishes had a different character to them. Like some of the dishes might be just different shaped, and she would eat all those. And it was just so, like for me, it was like phenomenal, which is the craziest thing when you look at it. And that goes away, that takes away from or lets me know where I'm at as far as on the perfectionism wheel, because I'm not in that space anymore. To me, that was perfect.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be all the other things that I thought in the past made it perfect.
And that's one of the things, like we are living based on our upbringing and our programming and all the things. And so that the accumulations that we have, but then we have these desires, like you said, but I know for me, I don't know what that looks like. And then there's an opportunity to go to somebody else's house. Like you had that opportunity. Like I've done this so many times. Um, like decorating or having a theme for the house or something like that. Like I don't know what it looks like for me. I don't. So I'll have this desire to see something different, see how other people decorate their homes. And then next thing you know, we're invited to somebody's house for dinner or come over for a pool party. Or so I'm invited to these different homes and I'm like, oh, I like that. And so I start picking out things like, oh, I like the way that is. And I like those colors of frames and stuff like that. So you may not know what it looks like, but when you think about it and have that desire, and then it's presented and then it unfolds, that's the magic and beauty of it. Because one of the things about my closet, I was walking in there and I was thinking, I want to upgrade my wardrobe. Meaning, to me, upgrade means some of the stuff needs to go and some fresh stuff needs to move in.
Mm.
So I had been having that desire as well. And I went to work one day and my boss said her friend gave her like 4 bags of clothes. So she brought them all to work so we could all go through them. And then another coworker, she was bringing in bags of clothes and shoes. And so it was just so fun. I'm thinking, well, there you go. And you know what? Didn't cost me anything. And I got half a new wardrobe. How
That's
awesome is
awesome.
that, right?
That's awesome. But it's just having the asking, and we don't have to know where it's coming from. And that's the whole big deal.
And
Because
patience.
I've tried, yeah, what?
And patience.
Yeah, true. Because you just let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. Because I
Yeah,
was
that is
like,
awesome.
oh, we have clothes to go through. I was so excited.
That's so awesome. I love it.
And then I got to take them all home. I take, whatever I picked out. I just brought it home and tried it on. And if I liked it, I liked it. If I didn't, they just said, just donate it wherever you take stuff. So then I went through my closet. So now I have 4 bags of clothes to
Nice.
on. So
I love it.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. So move the energy, I think is our message today. It's just, go sit in each room and just notice how it feels and make notes. Just I like that picture on the wall, but maybe it's just time to move that picture. Maybe it's just time you got to move that picture from one wall to another in the same room, or move it into the hallway or another room. Like, you just make a notation, get a notebook, make a notation of each room. What do you notice? How does it
Yeah,
feel? What do
that's a
you
good
want to
idea.
what do you want to change? What do you want to get rid of? What is stagnant? What's not appealing to you anymore? What irritates you? Because sometimes stuff just irritates you and you don't
Yeah,
even realize it till you actually sit with it.
because it's a feng shui thing. It's just the way that the energy of the room is sitting, and
Yeah.
it doesn't feel right. And like I was thinking as you're saying that stuff, even if we're sitting on the couch and we don't feel motivated, there's a stagnation of energy, right? This is a perfect example of changing it. I think if it doesn't feel, if any of it doesn't feel good to you, that means that there's a change that needs to be
Yeah.
made. And then it's like, you can either get out the feng shui magazine or the books or the go online and look it up, or you can ask spirit to guide you, or you can just like, okay, intuition, let's play. Like, let's see how this would feel good and start shifting it. You may turn to put it all back at the same way when you get done, or you might have one thing that shifted up and you moved 1,000. It doesn't matter. You changed the energy, you shifted it.
Yeah. I love it. So there you go. That's your our suggestion is just go do an inventory of your home, of the energy, and notice what's time. What is it time for changing or moving?
I love it.
Yeah. All right, my friends, that's our message for today.
Thank you. Come again.
There you go. Yeah, please come again. We've been doing this for over 4 years. Every time I say it, I'm just like, wow, really? And to think where we started, it's interesting to think back. So if you find this beneficial, please share it with your friends, whether you share the content, the videos, the just planting seeds in conversation. Just start. Somebody out there that is ready to hear this as well. And it's beneficial for any podcast that you watch or listen to share it with your friends and family, have them like the channels and all the things. So don't keep us a secret, because this is why Bev and I come out and do this. So because we know our conversations are beneficial, not only for us, because we are selfish and why we do this. This is our own therapy session.
Yeah, and we're not keeping our secrets secret pretty much because we discuss everything. So
so yeah, share us with your friends and family. We can be found on YouTube, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Facebook, and so we're kind of all over the place. Any final words?
Make a magical week.
There you go. Magical week. Love it. All right, my friends. Thanks for hanging out with us. Tea time with Amy and Ben. When we will see you next time.
Bye.